The Zoom call had been going perfectly. 20 minutes into my interview with Morrison Tech, I was nailing every question. The hiring manager was nodding, the team lead was smiling, and I could feel my 5 years of grinding through night school while working 2 jobs finally paying off. Then my brother Blake unmuted himself from my computer. I'd made one mistake, leaving my laptop open while I grabbed my portfolio from the other room. 30 seconds. That's all it took for Blake to sneak into my room and join the call from my device. "Excuse me," his face appeared in a second window, poorly lit and smirking. "I'm Blake Harrison, Natalie's brother. I feel morally obligated to warn you about who you're interviewing." My blood turned to ice. "Blake, get off." "She's mentally unstable," he continued, talking over me. "Violent outbursts, pathological lying, severe personality disorders. Our family's been dealing with her issues for years. She's on multiple medications and has been in and out of treatment facilities." The interviewers' faces changed, from engaged to concerned to horrified. I watched my future dissolve in real time. "That's not true," I said, my voice cracking. "None of that is true. This is." "See how angry she gets," Blake said smoothly. "This is exactly what I'm talking about. She can seem normal for short periods, but the mask always slips. I couldn't let you hire her without warning you. It's a liability issue, really." "Mr. Harrison," the hiring manager said slowly, "this is highly inappropriate." "I have documentation," Blake lied with practiced ease. "Medical records, police reports, testimonies from previous employers about incidents. I can send them over if he'd like." "He's lying," I said, but I could hear how desperate I sounded. How crazy it must look, a family member going to these lengths to warn them. Who would believe me over him? "We've heard enough," the team lead said. "Ms. Harrison will be in touch if we need anything further. Thank you for your time." The call ended. Just like that. 5 years of work destroyed in 3 minutes. I sat there, staring at the blank screen, listening to the sounds from downstairs. Laughter. Actual laughter. They were celebrating. I walked downstairs to find my entire family in the living room, champagne glasses raised. They'd been watching on Blake's phone, broadcasting my humiliation like a sporting event. "He saved the company from you." Dad cheered, clapping Blake on the back. "That's my boy, looking out for the greater good." "Heroes protect others from parasites," Mom added, raising her glass. "Blake's a hero. That company should thank him." My sister Meredith was already posting about it online. "My brother just saved a company from making a huge mistake. Not all heroes wear capes. Hashtag family first, hashtag truth matters." "Why?" was all I could manage. Blake shrugged, still grinning. "You really thought you were going to get a job that pays more than mine? After all the years of acting like you're better than us, this is what you get for thinking you're special." "I worked for that interview for months, and I destroyed it in 3 minutes," he said proudly. "That's the difference between us. You work. I win. Besides," Mom said, sipping her champagne, "you should be grateful. Now you can stop pretending you belong in tech and focus on finding a nice retail job. Something more appropriate for your abilities. Or better yet," Dad suggested, "maybe this will finally convince you to move out. 23 and still living at home, still trying to be something you're not. It's embarrassing." I looked at them, really looked at them. My family celebrating the destruction of my dreams like they'd won the lottery. Blake, 26, who'd been fired from 3 jobs for harassment, but somehow always landed on his feet because Dad knew people. Meredith, 24, who'd never worked a day in her life but called herself an influencer with 200 followers. My parents, who'd spent my college fund on Blake's DUI lawyers and Meredith's failed boutique, then told me I wasn't college material anyway. "Thank you," I said quietly. They stopped laughing. "Thank you, Blake, for showing me exactly what you all are. And for doing it on camera." His face went pale. "What camera?" "The Zoom recording," I said. "Morrison Tech records all interviews for quality and legal purposes. It's in their interview confirmation email. The one you didn't read when you decided to commit defamation of character, tortious interference, and criminally access my computer." "You're bluffing," Blake said, but his voice wavered. "Am I? You illegally accessed my device, joined a private business meeting, and made false statements about my mental health to destroy my employment opportunities. On a recorded call, with witnesses. That's a felony in this state, Blake." He was protecting them. Mom shrieked. From what? A qualified candidate with 5 years of clean experience, or from the embarrassment of someone in this family actually succeeding without nepotism? I pulled out my phone and started typing. Morrison Tech's legal team is going to love this. So will the police. And the 5 other companies I'm interviewing with this week, especially when they hear about the harassment campaign my family is running. You wouldn't dare, Dad growled. I would. And I will. Unless. Unless what? Blake asked, champagne forgotten. Unless you record a retraction. Right now, admit you lied. Say I have no mental health issues, no criminal record, no instability. Admit you accessed my computer illegally out of jealousy and tried to sabotage my career. Never, he spat. Then I'll see you in court. And prison. White-collar crime units love cases like this: video evidence, financial damage, cybercrime. You'll be famous, Blake, the brother who went to jail for sabotaging his sister's job interview. That'll look great on LinkedIn. The room exploded. Shouting. Accusations. Mom sobbing about family loyalty. Dad threatening to throw me out. But Blake? He was silently Googling unauthorized computer access charges, his face draining with each result. Fine, he muttered. I'll do it. Blake, no. Meredith gasped. You can't admit to lying. What about your reputation? What reputation? I asked. The one where he got fired from Jackson and Associates for sending explicit photos to an intern. Or from Clearwater Solutions for stealing equipment? Or from Technova for failing a drug test? How do you? I keep records. You bragged about your conquests and cons. I kept receipts for protection. You kept them for ego. He recorded the retraction through gritted teeth, admitted everything while our parents watched in horror. Not horror at what he'd done. Horror that he got caught. That there were consequences. That, for once, I was in control. I backed up the video to cloud storage, emailed it to myself, and sent it to a lawyer friend who had helped me understand my rights. Then I packed my things, not much, since they'd made sure of that, and left. Where will you go? Mom cried after me. You have nothing. No job, no money, no family. I have integrity, I said. That's more than any of you can claim. That night, I checked into a cheap motel and sent 2 emails, one to Morrison Tech's HR, attaching the video and explaining everything. The other to every tech company within 50 miles, with my resume and a brief cover letter about overcoming sabotage and staying the course. Responses came faster than I expected. Morrison Tech called the next morning. The hiring manager was stunned and apologetic. In 20 years, I've never seen anything like this. The fact that you handled it so professionally, knew about our recording policy, and got a retraction? Would you be open to coming in, just with our team this time? I got the job, started 2 weeks later. The salary alone made Blake's look like spare change. But I wasn't done. Blake's stunt made something painfully clear. My family didn't just want me to fail. They needed me to fail. My success threatened their entire narrative, that I was the weak one, the failure, the one who needed their control. So I decided to succeed loudly. I volunteered for every tough assignment, asked questions, showed up early, stayed late. Within 6 months, I was promoted. Within a year, I led my own team. Meanwhile, Blake's life unraveled. Turns out when you admit to cybercrime on video, people Google you. His company saw the clip. I may have made sure it ranked high, and fired him. Quietly. But the industry whispered he was blacklisted. Meredith's influencer career crumbled when screenshots leaked of her mocking my situation. Brands dropped her. Partnerships vanished. She became just another bitter 20-something living with her parents. Mom and Dad didn't escape either. Their church circle was scandalized, thanks to a little help from my aunt, who always saw through them. They went from bragging about their 3 successful kids to being known as the couple who raised a criminal son and helped him ruin his sister's future. Only, I wasn't ruined. I was just getting started. The best part came a year later. Morrison Tech was acquired by a major tech giant, and they promoted me to senior developer as part of the transition. The announcement included a feature story about my journey, overcoming family sabotage to become one of their rising stars. Blake saw it, of course. He was working at a cell phone store by then, telling anyone who'd listened that the tech industry was all politics and he'd been blackballed for telling the truth. He messaged me, "You ruined my life." I responded, "No, you ruined your own life. I just made sure everyone could see it." He tried one last desperate play, creating a blog post titled, "My sister destroyed our family for a job." It was a masterpiece of delusion, painting me as vindictive and him as a concerned brother trying to protect innocent employers. I countered with my own post, "My brother committed a felony to stop me getting a job," complete with a Zoom recording, his retraction, screenshots of his previous firings, and a breakdown of the actual laws he'd broken. Mine went viral. His got him sued by Morrison Tech for defamation. The lawsuit bankrupted him. Mom and Dad spent their retirement savings on his legal fees only for him to lose spectacularly. The judge called his actions malicious, premeditated, and indicative of severe character defects. During the trial, more came out. Other people Blake had sabotaged over the years. Coworkers he'd undermined. Friends he'd betrayed. A pattern of destruction that my parents had enabled and celebrated as long as it wasn't directed at them. Now it was. With no money for lawyers, no reputation to trade on, and no children willing to support them, my parents lost their house. Blake moved back in with them, into a one-bedroom apartment where his hero status meant nothing and his protection of companies from me had cost them everything. I bought a house last month, nothing fancy but mine. In my home office, I have a framed screenshot of that Zoom call. Blake's face frozen mid-lie, the interviewers looking shocked, me looking devastated. It reminds me that sometimes the worst moments of our lives are actually gifts. Blake thought he was destroying my future, but he was actually freeing me from the weight of pretending they were family. He called me a parasite who needed to be stopped, but parasites feed off others' success. I built my own. They're the ones who needed me to fail to feel good about themselves, who fed off my setbacks, who couldn't survive in a world where I thrived. He said heroes protect others from parasites. He was right about that too. I protected the world from them, from Blake's lies, Meredith's toxicity, my parents' enabling. I made sure everyone could see what they really were. The interview he crashed, it launched a career beyond my dreams. The family he was protecting me from, they're protecting each other now, in their shared apartment, blaming me for consequences they created. The parasite he exposed, she's thriving, growing, succeeding in ways that make his protection look like what it really was, jealousy dressed up as concern. Heroes don't destroy opportunities, they create them. Heroes don't lie about mental illness, they support those who struggle. Heroes don't celebrate others' failures, they lift people up. Blake was no hero. He was just a man who couldn't stand to see his sister succeed. And in trying to destroy me, he revealed himself to the world. Thank you, Blake. Your 3 minutes of heroism gave me a lifetime of freedom. I hope it was worth it.